Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode here in NHL 24. So in last episode, we had free agency where we signed pretty much just a bunch of players to cap contracts, so that way we got to the cap floor. And yeah, we're up here at January the 1st, 2010-6 so far, and I'd say it's been a pretty successful season up to this point for this young team, and yeah, very excited to see what we do in the next half of the season. We should be a playoff team if we continue on this trend, but like you can see, our depth scoring has been very, very solid. We have a lot of guys on 30 points through 36 games, and then obviously it drops off after that. The main reason why I think was because Grosek wasn't on the power play, and then Yakla was, so I did swap the two of them in last episode. So Grosek will be back on the power play, Yakla is not going to be. But yeah, you can see that we're very top 9 heavy, and then our fourth line and stuff like that doesn't do as much in terms of the offense. So there's that. Defensively, we've been pretty good as well. Like Kyrou and Heinola have been great. Vandermeer's only on 11 points, which is kind of low for an offensive defenseman, and he's a -8 so far, so he hasn't been the best rookie, but obviously we're hoping that when he comes back from his injury that he could help out quite a bit with the offensive load. And then goaltending has been very good this year. Gabriel Dag looks like he could be on a pace to potentially win a Vezina, and he does still have one more year of RFA status. So very excited to see what this team does the rest of the way. We probably won't make much trades in this episode if we do make any at all, just because obviously I don't want to be giving up any young players really in our NHL or AHL. And also I don't really feel like bringing in somebody that might just kind of like hold us back or take away playing time from a younger guy. So I don't think we're going to make much trades, but it really depends on how we are once we get closer to the trade deadline. So let's continue assimilating and see how we're going to do in this rest of the season. We'll take it 1 month at a time. Hopefully our team can continue to win games, and we could continue getting good production from our top guys, because I've been very impressed with the offense on this team and also the goaltending numbers. Randomir is back. That is a great way to start off this episode. Hopefully Vandermeer could get his offense going a little bit, or else I might move him to the second power play unit and put in somebody else instead. I don't really know exactly, but he's definitely not the best offensive defenseman here in his rookie season, but I think he is generating some X factors here already in his career, if I'm not mistaken, because I think he only had one X factor before the start of the year, and now he already has 2 or 3 for sure. Yeah, because I think he had wheels, but I don't know if he had elite edges and sended. I think he's already generated a few, which is nice. But him and Palin is a solid pairing. We could always actually split that up a bit. Maybe he's getting too much ice time. Put him back down to a top 6 role. Move somebody else up like Kyrou, who definitely usually drives the offense for this team. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. But let's continue assimilating here and see how our team does. Let me actually stop the sim for a sec. Okay, now I can actually see the calendar. Looks like our team is still scoring a lot of goals as of those last 2 games, and then we lose 6-2, of course. And Palin has been injured now, which is the top defensive defenseman, so we'll go replace player on that, but that is a pretty big blow. We've suffered 2 injuries to our top 2 defenders this season so far, which is not great, or at least the ones of the future, not necessarily right now. But Palin being up to an 88 is very, very nice for this team, and hopefully he continues to develop into being that good shutdown defenseman to have next to an offensive defenseman, because that would be great. Okay, we're still winning some games, obviously losing some too, but that's because we're a young, inexperienced team. Ville Heinola, who's having a great year, has been injured with a fractured jaw. Everybody on this defensive core seems to think they're getting injured at some point, which is not great, but that is what it is. And Stankoven has also been injured with an injured stomach. Ow. I don't know how you get an injured stomach, but I mean, maybe it's that type of play, you know, when you're playing ice hockey and stuff like that, or hockey in general, and your stick comes up and hits you right in the stomach. It could be that type of injury. I hate those injuries a lot. It's happened to me a couple times more just playing road hockey in the past. But 30-15-7, we are leading the Central Division now. We do have a lot more games played than most of the teams in our division, but that's very impressive to see, considering the age of this team. Let's just continue assimilating at this rate for now. We should have guys back from injury here shortly. Yep, perfect. So that means our defensive core will be back to full health here, which means, oh wow, Vandermeer jumped to an 83 now. He's developing rapidly quick, which is really awesome. We are definitely going to assign that guy to an 8-year extension once his ELC obviously comes to an end. Stankoven's also back, so Brandon Coe will come out, and Stankoven will jump back in. I'm really liking the looks of our top 6, though. At some point, I want to get Irving on a top line role, but for right now, this is what it looks like, and it looks really good. Our third line is very fantastic, too, so this team should be a playoff team, and I hope it is for a long run in a sense, just so that this team can get a lot more experience. San Jose has fired their head coach, Braylon Hoyle. What a name. Okay, 6-5 OT win over Minnesota. Phillies fired their head coach. 8-1 win over the Ducks. Yeah, we're definitely having good offense on our team still. And we're still a little bit inconsistent here. As you can see, we were on a losing streak, but that's okay. That's part of being a young team, I guess. 34-20-8, we have dropped to second place in our division. Wildcard's on 71 points. We're at 76, and we've played 3 more games than the Wild. Damn. So we could potentially drop off quite a bit here in this last bit of the season. But I think playoff-wise, we are almost guaranteed that we're going to be a playoff team, because the Kings, who are outside the playoffs, are on 63 points. And then you have the Preds, who are outside the playoffs, on 64. So we'd need to drop off considerably if we're going to miss the playoffs. Let's go to a day before the deadline and take an updated look at how we've been simulating up to this point. 7-4 loss. Oof. Okay, we're kind of falling off a little bit here, which, like I said, is probably because we're a young team. Maybe we'll go make some line adjustments a little bit. Split up the movement a little bit here. So let's go with Irving as a top liner. And we'll go Stank down the middle instead of Perfetti. I don't really know, to be honest. Yeah, let's just go with a small little change in the top 6, even though they've been good. And, yeah, we'll keep the rest of this the same, I think, to be honest. Because the team should be pretty good still in terms of, like, depth stats and whatnot. I'm not going to look at our player stats till the end of the season, but I will take a look at our team stats just to see where we're sitting in terms of, like, standings and goals for per game. And for some reason, the screen feels like it's lagging quite a bit here when I'm pressing A, so that's kind of annoying. But let me see. Entire league-wise right now, we are not in the top 10 anymore. We were in the top 10 last time we looked in last episode. We're number 9, actually, so we are in the top 10, but outside of the screen's top 9. We are still scoring a good amount of goals per game, which is nice to see. Looks like our defense has drastically dropped off a little bit over the last while, because we used to be one of the better defensive teams. Now we've dropped off to mid-table, so the defensive play has dropped off a little bit. Power play is still good, so in general, the offense is good still. The penalty kill is still kind of mid, but I think it has improved, which is good. So we're just not doing as good defensively 5-on-5, it seems like, at the moment. So let's rework the defensive pairings maybe a little bit, and that could help us out for the rest of the season, but I don't think we're at the point where I want to make much trades. Okay, let's go to edit lines here. See what we could do in terms of new defensive pairings. Let's probably do Palin with Kyrou, and then we could do Vandermeer with Heinola. Even though Heinola and Kyrou have worked really well together, and Palin and Vandermeer seem to be okay together, I think we're going to change that, and then our top 6 pairing can stay the same. And yet it's probably all the changes we're going to make in our lineup. Yep, I think that's all we're going to change up. So I'm going to go still into the trade deadline, but I'm probably not going to make any trades, because I don't think we're at the point where I want to be, like, upgrading our team a lot. I think next season might be that type of year for us. But I think I just want to stay course pretty much with this team. We just won 7-1 after we lost 7-4 or whatever it was. So, yeah, our team's a little bit inconsistent, but that's okay. Let's just enter this trade deadline and see if there's anything interesting. No, anyways. A lot of these guys have multiple years. There is Adam Pelech, but I don't have any room for him on my defensive core. I'm not sending anybody down to the AHL. There is that low franchise goalie, but obviously don't really need him. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything that would really help us out quite a bit, because most of these guys would just take away ice time from the younger players on our roster, which is not really what I'm looking to get. So I don't think we're going to make any trades, and we're just going to stay the course just like last year and hope that this team could do well. So there is a big trade apparently. Buffalo acquires Jacob Chikrin and Jared McIsaac for Matt Savoy in 2 seconds. Wow. That's a steep price to pay, but that makes sense, I guess, that Buffalo's trying to go for it. Vegas acquires Bieksa and Langdon from Colorado for Pinto and Donato in a 7th. Okay. Islanders acquire Buchnevich and Rolson for Miller and Ginning. Okay. And that's all the blockbuster trades. We'll take a look at the other trades as well, because might as well see if there's anything intriguing while we still have like real players in franchise mode. Because eventually these guys will run out. Let's see. Any players that I recognize? Hey, Tim Burney got traded to Toronto. We had Burney like a few years ago. Connor Zary gets dealt to the Dallas Stars. Okay. Bobby Brink to Florida. Not really seeing anything crazy. Andrew Mangiapane to Buffalo for Jack McBain and Mark Stone. No, that's actually not the trade. That's two different trades. But still, Jack McBain and Mark Stone to Anaheim is kind of a weird one. Kalen Addison to the Rangers. We've already seen about the Buchnevich trade. Yeah, the screen seems like it's like a little bit slow right now. I do not know why. Victor Soderstrom to St. Louis. Sean Farrell to Vancouver. Okay, nothing really crazy trade-wise, I'd say at that deadline. And it looks like Peyton Eckford, that franchise guy that went first overall in the last draft, is doing well for himself. So should be interesting to see where that guy finishes in terms of rookie scoring and all that. I don't think Vandermeer is going to win a Calder because of him, but it would be nice if Vandermeer was like top 5 in rookie points as a defenseman. Let's continue simulating. We should be a playoff team unless we fall completely off. And yeah, there's a little bit of a lag with the screen right now for some weird reason. I do not know why. Like, I press A and it takes a while to register, but is what it is. Iafallo on waivers, our former guy, he's making $5 million bucks. Jeez, that's a lot. He is a decent depth forward, but I honestly have no room for him, and I don't really want to bring back him again. But I appreciate it there, the waiver wire. Rafalski's been injured. Okay. Yeah, we're still a little bit on the inconsistent front. Hellenius has been injured. That's actually a pretty big blow. But we're definitely still on the inconsistent train here as the season goes on. We're 40, 26, and 9. We are in a wild card spot now in 89 points. The Blues are outside of the playoffs on 82, so that's a little bit scary. The Kings are well out of it still at 76. So technically, we only need to worry about the St. Louis Blues, which have that franchise guy. We are playing them in a day almost or so. Or I mean a couple days, but it's still like a game apart. So we will be playing them soon. If we win that game, I think we pretty much guarantee our chances of making the playoffs. So let's go to the 7th and see how we do in these 3 games. Hellenius is already back. That is actually pretty nice. Good it wasn't long term. Imagine Brandon Coe getting a second line opportunity. That's funny. So Hellenius will come back in. And that is good and ready to go. And Dallas we beat 9-2, so that should guarantee us some playoff time, I think. If I'm not mistaken, as Rafalski's returned as well. Hopefully the AHL team is playoff bound too, because that would be really nice for the prospect development stage. A 7-6-1 win there and a 4-3 shootout loss. We haven't clinched yet. We have not clinched yet. That's actually kind of insane. 94 points. All the teams in the Pacific that have made the playoffs have clinched. The only one that we're still worried about is St. Louis, and they're on 85 points. So at 85 and 77, they have 5 more games left, so they could technically get a max of 95 points. So if we win one more game, we're into the playoffs. Let's just not lose 4 in a row, because that would be ridiculous. Game against Vegas is a 4-3 win, and that has clinched us our playoff spot. The Stars are still battling for that last playoff spot. Obviously, if they win like one more game, though, they pretty much guarantee themselves that playoff spot as well. But we have made the playoffs again with this team, even with making no trades, which is nice. We'll replace Skirbic for now. 8-2 win and a 6-4 loss. 44, 28, and 10. I wouldn't say it's a fantastic season by any standard, but we might have a good chance at being a good playoff team because of that. So we do finish as a wild card spot. Yeah, we do finish as a wild card spot, I think, technically. Interesting. Player stats, oh my goodness. Michael Misa, 98 points. Love to see it. Only 25 goals, but 73 assists. He's a very good setup guy. That's really nice to see. But let's take a look at our team stats, and then we'll take a look at our player stats, and also see who we're going up against in round 1. So in terms of the entire league-wise, we finished as the 12th best team. So not the best team in the world, obviously, but still, with the young team we have, it's pretty impressive, I'd say. We were the 4th best offensive team, which is awesome. In terms of goals against per game-wise, yeah, we definitely dripped off a little bit defensively. But we were still, I'd say, like 13th or 14th, or tied for 13th, something like that. Our power play was really good this year, though. 27.7, we had the best power play in the NHL, which is awesome. So that's helped out our offense quite a bit, I think. In terms of our penalty kill, let's see. Ooh, the penalty kill dropped off a lot in that second half of the season. Yeah, we had one of the worst penalty kills. I know that doesn't make sense, but still. Really good on the road, but not so much on home ice, which is also kind of intriguing. So there is that. Let's take a look at our player stats now and see who did what this season. Who did what? So Misa on 98 points plus 17. Lucius on 84 points plus 11. Stankoven on 82 points plus 7. Really liking his depth scoring with these guys. Perfetti on 78 points plus 20. Luke Misa on 64 points plus 2. So all of these guys here, these 5 guys, very good seasons. Kumpelainen on 27 and a plus 9 is actually really good, considering he didn't really get that much ice time. So I like that a lot. K. Grodov on 19 points is pretty solid as well for a 4th liner. None of those centers scored below 11 goals, which is pretty crazy. Left wing wise, Grosek only on 43 points. He did get a couple power play points after we put him on the power play, but a little bit of a down year for Philip Grosek. A little bit. Not too much of one, but still. He definitely could pick it up all of a sudden. He did have an okay playoffs last year, so we'll see if he could still continue to build upon that. Lindstrom on 29 points is pretty good. Right wing wise, though, Aiden Irving with another 40-plus goal season. He has not had 50 yet, which is kind of a surprise, but 47 goals, up to an 88 overall. Jeez. Why is this screen so laggy? God damn. Yeah, really good season from Irving, and hopefully he continues to build upon that. Yeah, 3 straight 40-goal seasons, and he's only 24. But he definitely needs to be much better in the playoffs. That's the one thing that I have critiques with him. 79 points as well from Hellenius this season. Jeez. And we have him on a pretty good contract. So Hellenius in his second season was great. He's a very good simulator. I have seen him simulate really well before, and he's definitely proving that here so far. So top 6 is really good. Yakla on 27 points, not bad. I'll take it. Looks like he did better without the power play time. And Ko had 3 points in 4 games because obviously when he was getting put in the lineup, he was on like the top 6. Defensively, Kyrou on 50 points plus 27 is great. Really like that from Christian Kyrou. Vandermeer 32 points minus 4, so he improved defensively a little bit, and his offense was not too bad. I don't mind that for a rookie season from an offensive defenseman. Hopefully he can start getting into the 50-60 point range in the next few years. And geez, yeah, this is for some reason lagging along this mode right now for some reason. 25 points for her Heinola plus 31, love to see it. Palin on 20 points plus 10. Galvis on 14 points minus 3. Kane on 11 points plus 9. And then Olsen had nothing in 9 games. So in terms of our defensive scoring, I really like it. It's not too bad. Obviously a couple minus guys, but in general, very, very solid. And then goaltending wise, wow, why is this lagging so much? Goddamn. Gabriel Dag's stats definitely dropped off a lot, but still a relatively okay season for what this team did. Okay, now the question is the entire league-wise. Who led the league? David Pasternak with 123 points. You had Marner on 120, Kucherov on 113, McDavid on 112, and Poitras again with 111. He seems like he's Pasternak's like setup guy or something. Best goal scorer this season was Pasternak and Kucherov with both 65 goals. Kucherov did it in less games though, so I would say Kucherov would probably be better for the Richard just because of that, because he probably could have scored more goals if he would have got to 81 games played, but that's maybe just me. Let's take a look at Selke candidates. Who is up there for the Selke this season? And yeah, this game is really lagging for some reason right now. Tim Stützle, definitely going to win it. 56% on the draw, over 150 takeaways. Yeah, I think it's going to be Stützle, or it's going to be Anton Lundell that wins the Selke. Not a lot of fights from the most fighter. That was Vesa Haken with 4. Tom Wilson, Max Comtois, etc. Best defenseman for points. Evan Bouchard with 81 points. Not too bad. Hey, look, there's Morrissey, but he was a minus 15. Is he in San Jose still? He is. Huh. So he re-signed in San Jose. That's kind of interesting. And yeah, this game is really taking its time to load things up right now, which I'm not liking a lot. Vasilevsky, most wins. Really good record for Vasilevsky. Jeez. Most shutouts was also him. Best save percentage by a starter. If it's actually going to load, please. Thank you. Was Joel Blomqvist with a 917, though. Damn. And best goals against average by a starter was Vasilevsky. So likely it's Vasilevsky or Blomqvist that's going to win your Vezina this season. Any goalie goals for fun? No goalie goals. Most goalie assists was Vorobiev of Montreal with 5. Best rookie this season was Peyton Eckford, the franchise guy, with 53 points and 30 goals. Pretty good from him. But Vandermeer finishes third best in rookie points. And he finished with the best plus minus out of those guys too, which is awesome. So shout out to Vandermeer. He's not going to win the Calder, but he was the best defenseman in his rookie season. Any good rookie goalies this year? Vorobiev was a rookie goaltender. Okay, that's interesting. This guy could be a Calder contender. He could be. He had a lot of assists and was a starting goalie and did really well. Huh. Was drafted by Buffalo, but he's now in Montreal. Okay. So there is that. Let's actually take a look quickly also for AHL team made the playoffs. And we'll see who we're going up against in round 1. Yes, they did make the playoffs. Awesome. They do still have a couple more games left this season, but they are going to be a playoff team, which is great. So shout out to Manitoba. Who are we going to be playing in round number 1? Why is this taking so long to load things? It is going to be the Edmonton Oilers. Okay, so we're going to be likely taking on Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, which is going to be a very tough task. They went 51-26-5, so once again, we're not going to have the easiest time in the playoffs against opponents, but we are still going to be learning, which is very good for this young team. Let's take a look at what Edmonton is made of. And then we'll also take a look at how they assimilated compared to us, and then that'll be it for this episode. But Edmonton, what do they got? McDavid, Draisaitl, Barabanov. So Barabanov used to play with us, but now he's playing with Draisaitl and McDavid. So his stats are definitely influxed quite a bit. It's kind of interesting that they're playing McDavid as a winger. It does make sense based on the face-off stats, but you think that they would kind of have the two of them split up a little bit, but is what it is. Olofsson, Newhook, and LeBlanc. Why did I say McBank? Almost. I literally almost confused McDavid and LeBlanc and said McBank. Oh my goodness. Connor Brown, Danton Heinen, and Kasperi Kapanen. Why is this game lagging so much? Holy crap, I can barely even scroll through this shit. Hello? God damn. Sometimes I feel like if you just go like this with your Xbox and then go back in, it actually loads a lot quicker again, but it literally is slowing down a lot, which is not ideal. Brad Marchand's also there, Villeneuve, and Janssen Fialbi. So, in general, very solid forward core. I mean, when Brad Marchand's a fourth liner, that's pretty cool. Defensively, Nurse and Bouchard, who's just coming back from injury. Perbix and Soucy. And Wallman and Matheson. That's definitely a very Edmonton-esque defensive core, where it's not super great on the bottom 4, but it's okay. And goalie-wise, they do have Philip Gustafson and Matt Guzda. Didn't they win the Stanley Cup last year, I think? Max Jones and Travis Sturman. I think they did win the Cup last year. I got to take a look at that. Actually, I can't even take a look at that because the awards. I'd have to take a look at the next episode or the prior episodes to see if they won the Cup. But I think they might have won the Stanley Cup last season because I do remember Matt Guzda and Philip Gustafson doing really well. Yeah, see, I can't even look at awards right now. But let's take a look comparison regular season-wise. Edmonton versus us. So let's just go Western Conference. They were the second best team. We were the sixth best team. They had 107 points compared to our 98. They scored 3.89. We scored 3.79. So kind of close offensively. They allowed 2.95 to our 3.07. So they're a little bit better defensively as well. Our power play was a tiny bit better, 0.1%. And penalty kill wise, they were much better. So yeah, they should technically be the better all-around team, which really makes sense because they have McDavid and Draisaitl. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll take it to round 1 against McDavid in the Edmonton Oilers as we look to maybe pull off a huge upset and continue getting some playoff experience. And eventually, like as early as next season, is when we're going to probably look to start to contend as much as possible, bring in maybe some good veterans to play with our younger guys and that type of thing. So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.